Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend as we are going to recap everything that happened over the sports weekend. We'll also dive into a lot of the Razorback defensive side of things. So we just had a chance to hear from Travis Williams, the defensive coordinator, so we'll get into that. Of course, we'll have best and worst of the weekend, get into Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas summer topics of discussions. We'll get into the chat presented by Basis Health, have your 1-9-all question of the day, and get to anything and everything that you guys would like to get into here on this beautiful Monday. But fellas, hope you had a great weekend. How are the vibes out there on this Monday?
It was a good weekend. Got some stuff done. Got to eat at Texas Roadhouse. It's always a beautiful thing. The vibes are good on this Monday. I'm pretty excited about this week. Excited for reuniting with you guys in person on Wednesday. There's just a lot of good things happening. Got some announcements we're going to be making. It's just, the vibes are very, very high. Things are good.
Yeah, the vibes are good. The weekend was good. It was not long enough. But the good thing is we don't have real jobs. So the weekend is pretty much eternal. And you're right. It is going to be a good week. Excited to get down to Hot Springs on Wednesday. A lot of fun things happening. We are inching closer and closer to football season. What are we, 19 days now?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
19 days. I mean, it's amazing that it's gotten to this point. And you're right. We don't have jobs. We just have high-paying hobbies, apparently. But either way, it's fun because, 19 days, which the clip for today on Inside Arkansas, I was struggling. As I said, I was like trying to find a 19-day, guys. The only 19-yard touchdown I could find was one where Felipe Franks threw it to Davion Warren in the end zone against Mississippi State in the most boring fashion. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try to find something else. So I decided, I was like, do the Tennessee game from last year because Arkansas scored 19 points. Boom. There you go. There it is. That's the end of it. But less than 3 weeks. Less than three weeks. So we have Razorback football. And this week, of course, we're going to have continuing with fall camp. There's another scrimmage on Saturday, which had a lot of fun on this past Saturday, recapping Sam Pittman and talking about that scrimmage and everything. So we'll do the same thing with our Inside Arkansas football show on Saturday too, and be sure to be on the lookout for all of that. But today's a lot about the defense, guys. Travis Williams entering into his third year as the defense coordinator for Arkansas. I think that there's been some highlights, but also some lowlights. There's been some really great games, not so great games. There's been a lot of turnover. There's been a lot of new pieces. And this season is an interesting one because, of course, you lost Landon Jackson, which was arguably your best defensive player from a year ago. You replaced almost all of your secondary, or at least a good amount of your secondary players. You're able to retain your linebackers, but it's a matter of taking those next steps. But before we start playing some of the clips from Travis Williams today, just right now where it stands, how do you guys feel overall about the Razorback defense going into this year, maybe compared to what it was a year ago?
I don't feel great about it going into the year. I probably feel semi close to how I felt going into last year. It's just different position groups, right? Last year we were like, what's the deal here at linebacker? You know what I mean? Like, what's really going on here? And then they started telling us, hey, actually, we feel really, really good about this. And it wound up being great. And you got those guys back. So if you listen to the press conference today, you heard a lot of talk about that linebacker room. And that would make you feel really good because, I mean, obviously you got Sori and Dix back, and then they have a bunch of guys there. It sounds like they're excited about looking for opportunities to get 3 linebackers on the field and get more of those dudes out there. Didn't hear so much about some areas that I'm concerned about, which we've talked about a lot, the defensive line, the pass rush, and the secondary, which all kind of coincide with one another there. If I had to pick a side of the ball that I was more worried about than the other, it would certainly be the defense going into the year here. But I will say I had some reservations going into last year as well. And they wound up being, with the exception of a couple games there, probably a little bit better than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Curtis, because I think if we go back to a year ago, and now about a year ago is when we started to realize, hey, they might actually be better than we expected. Because I remember us going to spring practice last year, early on in spring. We always talk about how you want your defense to be a little bit ahead of your offense. It was day one of spring ball, and the offense was ripping off big plays. And so there were times last offseason where I was like, man, this might be one of the worst defenses in the SEC. They clearly not only weren't that, there were times where they won Arkansas games, which they talked about in the press conference today. And so our worries and our hopes and our optimism and maybe our pessimism means whatever it means this time of year, but it doesn't necessarily always equal what's going to happen on the field in the fall. But it just based on reading the tea leaves and, like you said, everything that we have available to us right now, especially coming off a scrimmage where it did not go well for the defense, and that has been well documented, I'm definitely concerned. And to be fair, it's not like I'm, only be concerned because of the scrimmage Saturday and I'm overreacting. These are things that we thought might be an issue. You look on paper, there's not really much pass rush, if at all, on the entire roster. They weren't able to get to the quarterback on Saturday. The secondary has a lot of replacements, has a lot of transfers, should be better on paper, but is it really going to solve that issue completely? I think Saturday was an indication that, hey, maybe they're not as far ahead of schedule as possible. And so maybe we'll find out that, hey, this Arkansas offense is just electric and they're going to dice up everyone. And so really this defense is just par for the course in the SEC. But I think if you look at the talent level on paper, compare it to some other SEC teams, look at the experience level up front in that front seven. You've got a really solid linebacker room that I like a lot. I think that's the strength of this defense, no doubt about it. But up front, you just don't have many bodies that have played football in the SEC. And it's something that it's, playing that close to the line of scrimmage in the SEC is not something that you just adapt to overnight. You have to have guys that can handle that workload. And Arkansas really had an issue with that last year. And that was with some veterans and with a guy in Landon Jackson, who was a second-round pick, a guy in Eric Gregory, who had spent 5-6 years in the SEC. You've got some returning guys, and, Cam Ball's a returner that's, played a lot of football for you. Quincy Rhodes seems like a nice young player. Justice Boone, or should I say Justin Boone, according to Travis Williams, he's got some experience, but there's just not many people that you can point to in that front seven, especially on the defensive line, and say, I know this guy is going to contribute in a very positive way for Arkansas. And that's a really concerning spot to be in 19 days away from the season, especially if the secondary is not going to be as ahead of schedule as we hoped.
Well, and what was interesting about last year's defense and comparing it to this year is it was such you didn't really know what to expect because, we talked about like the Tennessee game, that defense is what won the game. The offense honestly should have scored a lot more points than what they did. But the defense is what kept you in check for that one. Did a good job. I think against Auburn even. I know Auburn wasn't the greatest team ever, but getting turnovers and all of that. The same thing with Mississippi State. They turn the ball over all the time on the goal line. Give defense a little credit on that too. But they were able to make plays. But then there were times against, holy crap, Ole Miss, where records were set. You think about Oklahoma State, especially there in the second half. A lot of big plays given up. And then you think, we'll get like something like Texas where they held them to 20. It just seemed like it was very inconsistent there. And that was kind of the thing. And I think one of the worrisome deals, the last thing you ever want to have as a defense are big plays and giving up big plays. And that was something on Saturday when we talked about it after the scrimmage that, according to Sam Pittman, there were a lot of big plays given up on that Saturday scrimmage. So Travis Williams was asked about that and what took place and what he saw on these particular plays as well. Let's take a listen.
Right. Some of it was communication. And some of it was, I got this man. I just need to cover him. Right. So very first play, the linebacker has the back out the backfield and he's wide open over there as nobody's on him. So like, you just got to cover your guy. And just one of them was a communication deal. And we have to communicate pre-snap and post-snap. The pre-snap is, hey, alert, push, or banjo, or whatever our bingo, whatever our verbiage is, pre-snap. And then once the ball snap, you have to talk again. So you just can't talk pre-snap and not talk post-snap. So, okay, post-snap, push. So you have to be able to communicate. You can't be out there just standing around and they snap the ball and, oh, what I got. It has to be a pre-snap communication and a post-snap communication.
Okay, so communication, right? So that's good, because that's fixable. That's easy to fix. So hopefully that's all that it was and not anything else. But for those who were wondering about those big plays, it seemed like it was just breakdowns in communication, pre-snap, in some cases, post-snap.
Banjo, bingo.
Roger.
Yeah. Yeah. And when he said right before that too, that a couple times it was just guys not covering their man. It's like sometimes it's communication, sometimes it's just not covering your man. Like, you're assigned to him, you just didn't cover him. That's more alarming to me than the communication stuff. So I'm happy that that's what he really expanded on, because if it was just mano a mano and Arkansas's wide receivers are better than you or whatever, that's pretty problematic. That's something that could foreshadow disaster moving forward. If it's, the first scrimmage after 7 practices, whatever, of fall camp, and you're having some communication errors back there, that is stuff that's, pretty easily correctable. And hopefully that winds up being the case. Like you said, they're also still trying to figure out exactly who they want out there, what combinations work, what schemes are going to be the best for them, who's going to emerge at some of these position battles. What do you say? We've got a lot of ingredients. We just got to get the right ones in the pot and make sure that we don't put in any ingredients that are mildewed.
Sure.
I like that a lot. And I definitely think you're onto something in terms of, if it's just one-on-one coverage and you're getting cooked consistently, that's a red flag. And I'm sure there was a little bit of that going on, but you think about this secondary specifically, because again, the secondary is the big one. I think we all kind of agree. D-line, a lot of question marks. Linebacker, we all feel pretty good about. I don't think really there's much controversy there. The secondary is kind of the one where I could be talked into them being pretty good, but I could be talked into them having some issues. But you think about some of the guys. I mean, Quintavious Scandrett, I think he may have actually been able to play a little bit in the spring. But Jordan Young was not able to participate all spring. Caleb Wooden, I think he was in and out. He's only been on campus for a few months. Selman Bridges is a young guy. Jaheim Singletary is Jaheim Singletary. Kenai Walker only been on campus for a few months. And so it's like, you can kind of see how there would be some of these communication breakdowns. You're trying to figure out which spots these guys go in. They don't have a ton of time playing together, which is why, again, I feel like it would be nice if there were some stability. And I mean, you even look at Arkansas's defense last year. I know Jalen Braxton went out for a long time, but like, you had a guy in Hudson Clark who had been around for 6 years. You had a guy in Jaden Johnson who was basically a 4-year starter at Arkansas. Not that those are the most thrilling pieces in the world, but like there was some stability there in the back end, and they just failed to fill in those gaps. There's really not a ton of stability returning and a ton of we know what we got going on here in the secondary. And so there's time for them to figure it out, but not that much time. And so, I think we've gone through this offseason kind of all assuming the secondary would be better. And they probably will be, but I think, again, we just found out Saturday that might not be that simple.
And also, I look at it a little tried ahead of time because you never know what the teams are going to look like that they're going to face. But I think it's always about the type of offenses that they are going to face as well this year. Last year, no doubt, like Ole Miss was an elite offense, and they showed it. LSU, I feel like, had a really good offense, statistically speaking, at least, and they showed it. But it's a matter of, okay, so this season, there's a few of these teams that have made a lot of changes and have changes at quarterback. And, how are those guys, these new players for Arkansas, as you said, Andrew, like we feel like they could be better, maybe should be better, but is it going to be something to where they're going to be more challenged than what some of these guys were a year ago? Or is it going to be a little bit easier? I mean, you'll take it no matter how it happens, as long as it's successful, but it's a matter of, are some of these guys going to be able to deal with an Ole Miss offense that's, even though it's got new quarterback and new pieces, but Lane Kiffin's always going to have something cooked up. Same thing with a Nussmeier and what they're going to be facing, what you would think would be a good LSU team at that time. And how are they going to have those skill sets and how they're going to face up against those guys? Is this going to be more of a defense that has to rely a lot more on zone coverage because they don't have the dudes, even though we heard them talk about the size and the speed of these secondary players? Are they going to be athletic enough and good enough to do a little bit more man on man than what they had a year ago? So it's a lot of it's going to just be about the matchups of those offenses they're going to be facing. And I mean, I'm not saying I'm more concerned about that, but I feel like that might be honestly something that may help Arkansas out. Cause I do believe not to say it'll have easy routes of it, but overall, I think maybe the offenses will be a little bit less than what they were a year ago as far as the entire season combined.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't think Arkansas faced a really good quarterback last year until they saw Nussmeier against LSU. I mean, who would it have been? Do we want to call Nico that? I mean, he's going to be better, I guess.
Coleman had a lot of experience.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of hard to say, but, as I look at it here, whatever with UAPB, I guess the kid from Oklahoma State was okay, but it was like more of a system thing, whatever. UAB, Auburn, Texas A&M, Marcel Reed, they wouldn't even let him throw the football. Nico didn't do anything. So it was like Nussmeier. Mississippi State sucked. Ole Miss was pretty good. Texas was all right with yours. Then Louisiana Tech, who could not throw a pass beyond the line of scrimmage. And then you played Missouri in a blizzard. So I do think that they're going to wind up facing some quarterbacks with more arm talent this year. But as far as like big picture overall offense, you might be onto something there. Like how much better is Marcel Reed really going to be? we'll see. Will they trust him to throw a pass this season, or will they just continue to try to run it every other play? I don't know.
Well, to your point, John, I mean, Ole Miss is going to have a first-year starter because I agree. Like, that's kind of been the theme with the last few years of Arkansas defense. If they face a bad quarterback, defense looks great.
Amazing.
If they face an average quarterback, they about hold serve. You face a good one, they get torched. And so I think it's going to be interesting because I think we've talked about it a few times. Like, we've actually shared a lot of opinions about SEC quarterbacks. It's kind of a down year, but you are still going to have to face Garrett Nussmeier at some point. Marcel Reed is a guy that is, I think, interesting. We'll see where he ends up. But Ole Miss is going to have a first-year starter there in that big game early in the year. Notre Dame's going to have a first-year starter. And so when will that real big first test be? And by the time you get to that point, what kind of improvements will the secondary have been able to make?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what maybe I was being more hopeful, is just because of the uncertainty of some of these offenses. Because let's be honest, like, Arkansas is not going to get lucky enough to where all these new quarterbacks at these new teams, they're all going to be average to below average, and Arkansas is going to be fine. It's just not going to be that case. But maybe one or two. But yeah, you mentioned Ole Miss. I think Notre Dame has a new quarterback that they're going to be facing. We know Tennessee does. Good grief, with that drama that they had going on. Auburn in their situation. Mississippi State's got a new quarterback. Texas, Arch Manning, the next coming. They got a new quarterback. Missouri's got a new quarterback. So I'm just hopeful that maybe, just maybe, some of these quarterbacks won't be world beaters, but I know that me saying that means that they won't be world beaters until they face Arkansas. And then they're just going to throw for 500 yards because that's just the way it is. It's just how it goes. But
I guess my thought is they didn't face many world beaters last year, and they had the worst pass defense in the country.
You're true. You're right. And that's where it's like, it's a matter of it when it comes to the uncertainty that's the Razorback defense has and the secondary has and the new athletes that they have. It's like, if you're feeling like there's going to be a lot better, more success on that side, then maybe you do feel better about it. But from what we've heard so far, only thing we know is what we know here at fall camp. It's not really been giving anybody a lot of world of confidence, just not a whole world of confidence. Not what we were wanting to hear. We were wanting to hear, man, dude, you got these guys out here, they're ball hawks and they're pissing Petrino off, leading to fisticuffs, or apparently reports say. But that's what I was like hoping to hear. And the fact that how many practices they have, I don't know how many left, but still a significant amount. It's just, I was hopeful. I was hopeful for more from the defensive side than what we've had to hear so far at this point in time.
Specifically, I would say, and I know we're hard on the defensive line, especially after Pittman talked about them the other day and couldn't list three that he liked. I think I was really hoping from hearing from the defensive coordinator today, and he was asked about pass rush, was asked about blitzes, asked about some of these things, and even asked how they're going to improve that pass rush. I would have really loved to just hear any positive update of like, hey, Ian Jaffrard, we think he might be good at football, or hey, Danny, he was asked about Danny Saili. I guess he spoke good about him, and he's lost a lot of weight. But like, I really want to hear something. I mean, David Oki, we still have not heard anything on that front. Phillip Lee, have not really heard anything on that front. Like, I'm waiting to hear any type of new information that can change the way I view this defensive line situation. But we just keep hearing, and we'll hear from Deke Adams later in the week. But it's just kind of frustrating that there's nothing, it's just kind of this conceptual idea of, we want to be better, but it's like, I kind of want to hear some of these specific reasons why they would be better, or some of these players that they feel better about that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, because some of these guys, too, you were having to replace no matter what. But as we've talked about a whole bunch, it's about that pass rush, man. And, Landon Jackson, even though some people like to throw around, was it Saturday or whatever? It's like, Landon Jackson wasn't that good. Okay, yeah, well, he was. And it was a loss. But, just kind of a funny, quick clip here. But Travis Williams was asked about pass rush and how do you improve it?
Get to the quarterback. We got to identify the speed. We got to identify, okay, who can give us that pass rush? And our offensive line is pretty good, but can we get there with 4, or do we need to send more than 4, 5, 6? What do we have to do to get back there, to get the quarterback off his mark?
So there you have it. How do you get improved on the pass rush? You get to the quarterback, guys. You get to the quarterback. Simple as that. But obviously a little sarcasm thrown in there. But still, to me, that's what it hinges on everything. You could have actually a better secondary, but if you can't get to the quarterback, it won't matter. It's not going to matter if you can't get to the quarterback. And that seems to be a pretty big, other than Justin Boone, as we like to call him now. But seems like there's a lot more problems with some of the guys that you were hopeful for, like you mentioned, Andrew, like the Jaffards, the Okie. It looks like that guy just may not even play at this point. I mean, there's seems to be almost disappointment in some of the progression or lack thereof for some of these individual defensive linemen from the defensive staff.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see if somebody emerges under the lights. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think back to who some of those surprises have been in the past, like guys that we just didn't hear a whole bunch about throughout the course of camp. And maybe some of it is because they just started strapping on full pads. They just had their first scrimmage, and it was kind of their first opportunity to really get a lot of those one-on-ones against the offensive line and opportunities to get back and, touch sack a quarterback or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, guys are just going to have to emerge and be better than what we've heard so far if they're going to have success across the front there.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Pittman and Travis Williams, they're never going to come right out to the media and say we are dissatisfied with our personnel up front. But I mean, Sam Pittman couldn't list those guys off, and then Travis Williams, like, we have to identify guys that can get to the quarterback. It's like, what do you mean you have to identify them? It's like the time for building your roster and finding those guys is kind of over. You know what I mean? It's like from 19 days out from the season, I don't know how you can identify someone that's going to change the game in your pass rush. And I know a lot of these guys are newcomers, but it's like, some of them are not new to college football. You know what I mean? Like Phillip Lee's a guy that had 5-6 sacks last year at the CUSA level. It's like he should be able to come right in and match up from a physicality standpoint. You shouldn't be having to try and identify him. Okie obviously played at the FCS level. Like some of these guys, I know that they're new to Arkansas, but it's like if you haven't identified them to this point as guys that could rush the passer, I don't know how you're going to identify them in the next 19 days. And I thought that was interesting that he used that terminology of like, yeah, we've got to identify somebody that can help us rush the passer. It's like, I feel like the time for that is kind of before 19 days before the season starts.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends at Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience, we're going to be there the day before the Alabama A&M game, doing a live show on that Friday, August 29th. So be sure to come on by. But it's the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. They have all their new shipments coming in for the football season. Great stuff. They have Columbia. They got Southern Tide. They have Pierre Millar. They have Johnny O. They have everything. So get it checked out. Get your Razorback. Get geared up for this upcoming football season by going to InsideArkansas.com/alumni hall. That's InsideArkansas.com/alumni hall. Use that code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your purchase. It was a simple thing that it was just kind of gauging the audience, gauging the fans of which unit will be the best on the Razorback defense this season. It was broken down by defensive line, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. It's kind of separated those two for a specific reason. But overwhelmingly, guys, 71% of the audience says linebacker will be the best unit on the team. Only 15.5% say defensive line, 8% say cornerback, and 6% say safety.
First of all, it should have been 100% linebacker, like 100%, 100%. What are we doing here? And then the only other halfway acceptable answer would be safety, which was the lowest.
Yeah,
I'm questioning our fans, right? I don't know about this one.
Yeah, maybe splitting up corner and safety threw them off. You know what I mean?
Maybe,
they kind of split votes there, but I agree because I don't think there's really a case to be made, like a real case to be made for anywhere else other than just hey, guys that we have never heard of are going to surprise us. But like for I know when we talk about some of these positions, people may think we're being hard. There's a reason we don't talk about the linebacker group that way. You have two guys right there in Sori and Dix who have played a lot of football. We've seen them have success in a Razorback uniform. That's not a question mark. That's a very good starting point right there. Bradley Shaw's a guy that played a lot as a true freshman. I like some of what I saw from him. So I have no doubt he's going to be, on a positive trajectory. Tavion Wallace is a really talented kid. Andrew Harris has become the talk of camp over the last few days. And so it's like right there, that's 4 or 5 guys that you feel pretty good about in a linebacker position that might only need 2 or 3. And so it's like, I feel they're kind of overqualified there. And yeah, I think there's just question mark after question mark at every other spot. I did think it was interesting. He was asked about the 3 linebacker thing of, hey, are y'all going to start playing some more 3 linebacker stuff? And I think he basically said, we haven't installed all of those 3 linebacker formations. We're kind of installing some of our looks, some of our sets that we're going to run. But I think that's going to very quickly become a very prominent talking point of like, do they just have to run 3 linebacker sets because of the situation at safety, corner, and D-line?
Yeah, and it's not the end of the world, the worst thing, but man, it's just the amount of times I feel like we, and I say we as in us in the media and all that, have had a conversation about a Razorback football defense where they're having to do something specific because they just have to, and that's all they have. They have the cards that they were dealt. which I get in some capacity, but at the same time, it's like, hey, these are the guys you recruited. This is the team you've assembled. And it's like, you want to be able to be flexible enough as a coach to make it work however. But if you have a certain way that you want to do it and how you want to look and how you want the team to look and everything, I don't know if I want to keep hearing about, we're going to have to do this type of linebacker set because we thought about doing 3, but we're only going to have to be doing 2, or, defensive line. We're going to have to do 3 down linemen because we just don't really have 4. This doesn't really, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. It may end up being fine, but it just kind of ends up rubbing me the wrong way. So, but listen, there's a lot of time, I guess tomorrow, guys, we're going to hear from Bobby Petrino, get a little offensive action there from the man himself. So looking forward to kind of going back to that. And real quick, this doesn't matter. I just want y'all's opinion on it. Why do you think they do it as far as when they have the coaches on certain days? Like it's there's no rhyme or reason to it, and it's fine. But it's like, why last week you get mostly offensive coaches, but then you throw in a cornerbacks coach in there, and then this week you got Williams, but then Petrino, and then you go back with Adams. But Woodson will be that. But I just didn't know what you guys made of that.
It is interesting how, I guess, that they've made it through the entire offense besides Petrino. Is that right at this point?
Yeah.
And then they've still got like half the defensive guys to go here. Then you're just throwing Petrino in there randomly. I almost wish that they would just go offense, defense every day. Maybe it's just like post first scrimmage, the first 2 guys that they want to have out there are the coordinators or something. But it is weird to see Bobby on like a pretty much all defensive week,
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, like literally, we're just kind of, maybe they should have saved Bobby for the end, let him be the finale. But I guess there just are more defensive coaches, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And I think, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the reasoning behind it. Maybe it was just like, hey, Coach Petrino, which day you want to go? I'm going this day, and we're not going to hear anything of it. Okay, we'll just do that.
It lines up with the Hogs Plus release schedule, I think.
There you go.
I put Scott Fountain in the offensive category because he's got weapons.
Ooh.
There you go.
That's how it evens out with the defensive staff to me.
I like that.
He scores points, baby.
Golly, man. I forgot about Scott Fountain and the whole special teams thing. You should have saved them for last. You talk about really getting everybody hyped up. Get Devin Bale out there and Ashton No. Last press conference of the fall camp. Be pretty electric. Hey,
great pronunciation on the long snapper name there. That was good.
Listen, I've been working on my names. The NGO. It doesn't make sense in my head, but I had to. They do a pronunciation sheet, right, for the media guides? Isn't that what they do usually every year? May have to go through that for Arkansas this year, just to clarify and just to make sure. But either way, we'll get to your chats, folks, and we'll talk about a few things here as well. But want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends over at BetSaracen. Listen, they are the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas for a reason. It's because they're the best at it. They have all the different specials going on right now, getting you ready for the college football season. And one of the great things that they also have going on is you can sign up today with promo code BOOSTED, and you'll get a 100% profit boost on a bet of your choosing, as long as the odds are plus 5,000 or shorter. It can be any type of bet, any sport, any league, any event. For new players only, but it's got a $25 max wager. All you just do is type in that promo code BOOSTED for 100% of a profit boost on the app today. So get to winning big by downloading the BetSaracen app on your iPhone or on your Android. You can also bet online at BetSaracen.com. It's BetSaracen, Arkansas's #1 sports betting app. All right, so let's get to a few of your chats here talking about the Razorback defense specifically and everything. But actually, this is funny because few of these, like Brady says, we have a lot deeper defense than they say. If we lost Cam, we might be in trouble, though.
He's like contradicted yourself in that statement.
See, that's why
a lot deeper defense than who says.
Right. I guess us maybe. Like I think maybe we're selling the depth short. I mean, listen,
just because you have a lot of guys who are equally talented doesn't mean you're deep. It might mean you're bad.
They've literally asked the defensive coordinator and the head coach in the last 3 days, hey, what are some guys you feel good about? And then they run out after about 2 guys. And again, like you said, if you're saying, hey, they got a lot of depth, but if they lose the one returning starter they have on the D-line, they're toast. Do you really have depth? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, who even is the next guy there? Because, I know you got Saili and Jafar, but it's like, who would be, if Cam Ball went down and you had Saile and Jafar starting in the middle, who would be the next defensive tackle? And I'm not even asking that as a joke. Genuinely, who is it? David Oki, maybe?
I mean, I guess, yeah. And if that's the case, it's a guy that they're not too high on. So yeah, I don't think you can ever say you have a deep team and then also say at any point with anybody, but if we lose this guy, we're screwed. Like that's just like this is not depth.
He follows up and he says Justice is the real deal. Well, listen, okay, and we'll concede that. We'll even one Justice Boone who,
what does real deal mean? Is
basically a backup at Florida,
defensive lineman on your team.
Right. And like, look, even if we assume Justice Boone is really good at football, let's just say he is Landon Jackson. Exactly. He replaces that. So you have him on one end, Quincy Rhodes on the other, and then you've got Cam Ball and either Saile or Jafar there. That's your starting D line. I think that right there would already be average to below average in the SEC without a doubt. You say depth. They have a lot of depth. Where is that depth? Who is next out of that? Like who is good at football outside of those four guys?
I got nothing. Like that's the thing.
I would feel better about Justice Boone being the real deal if any coach on the staff could say his name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm not even kidding. I mean, he's been called Justin Boone by half the damn staff at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's good. It's kind of crazy to me. If somebody's really standing out, you're going to say his name right.
I was just saying, I always get the vibe that it's almost like they have, whenever they have texted each other, their phones have auto-corrected Justice to Justin, and so they just roll with it. It's like, it's just like they're like a human autocorrect in the press conference of like, no, it's supposed to be Justin because Justice with a U and an S, doesn't make any sense. So also too, I guess we can Trey Brown, he says, hey, got to talk about that story that came out from a random guy that said Bobby and Williams wanted to square up. No shot that happened, but still got to talk about it.
I love that last sentence there. It's like, this is a thing that didn't happen, but we still got to discuss it. I didn't see this. This is like Trey's comment is the first that I heard of this.
This is the same dude who said that the wide receiver room went into Petrino and said, hey, dude, it's either Taylon Green or us. It was that dude. And they were doing like a betting preview, and he said that, he was talking about the team not being very good or whatever. And then he said that Bobby was pissed off because Travis Williams and the defense were being too physical at practice. And he was yelling at him to lay off Taylon Green and lay off of his players. And then they were like threatening to fight each other.
That's interesting because Pittman just said the other day that he was like, we gave T-Will free reign to call whatever he wanted on defense. And T-Will even spoke about that a little bit today. And it didn't seem like any of it worked. So I don't know why Bobby would be upset.
Right. And even if that were true, that doesn't bother me.
No.
Yeah.
That happens. Like players getting fights at practice, coaches are going to yell at each other and can't, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if that was actually a thing and they were nose to nose, I'm not bothered by, like, I don't look at that and go, oh, they're screwed. It's football, man. You know, like, so I don't think
no
it
doubt
did
in
either.
my mind that Fernando Carmona has either been kicked out of practice or sent to the sideline during practice for fighting someone or, stepping on someone, something,
just in spring last year, remember?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, there was definitely some chirping going on, and like you said, that's normal. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not saying you want that every play, but it's like, yeah, when you have 150 guys that are full on smacking each other in the head repeatedly, yeah, there's going to be some ruffled feathers here and there, but just guys being dudes.
Yeah, because I look at it almost in an NFL perspective, like every year during one of these, what you call them games, like I guess they're scrimmages between two teams on practice, there's always this fight that breaks out and everyone's like, oh, geez. I'm like, so what, what happens? Nothing happens. No. Like we've seen teams go on to win the Super Bowl that got in a fight at fall camp or in fall scrimmages or practices or whatever. Not one time has anyone been like, you know what? I knew this team was cooked when I saw them. When I saw the Bills go up against the Jets and the Bills got in a fight there. They were just, it was not undisciplined. It just doesn't happen. Welcome to sports, folks. Yeah. Welcome to the real world of sports where, yes, you get in fights, you get in tussles, you get in each other's faces. It's a highly competitive situation, and that's okay. That's great. In fact, I encourage it. Get in a couple of fights. Don't hurt anybody where it impacts their season. But if you gotta throw a couple of low blows, if you gotta say something about someone's mom, then all right, let's do it. It makes for great stuff. It makes me feel like they got some passion and some fire. So I'm all about it.
Do y'all remember that year? I think it was Cam Newton and Josh Norman who were teammates in Carolina, and they got in a fight in practice, and Cam was was grabbed him by the face mask and was throwing him to the ground. But there's a picture of Cam doing it, and he's like smiling ear to ear, throwing Josh Norman to the ground. And Josh Norman pissed off a lot of people. I think Josh Norman's the guy that got Odell to hit himself in the face with the kicking net thing, where like he threw his helmet in the kicking net and it came back and hit him. It really is like, I'm not saying it's a complete like we want this, but it's like it really doesn't mean much.
Last week we had Mike Vrabel as a heavy hitter because he got in the middle of a ruckus at practice and walked out of there bloody. Your head coach might have got punched in the face by one of the players in the middle of a fight. Nobody's freaking out about that. The men's basketball program under Eric Musselman had multiple physical altercations, at different times with the staff, and they were still stacking Elite Eights. So,
no way. I don't believe Come on, Curtis. I don't believe that for a second. Come on, Curtis.
The next time Mekhi Mitchell makes it through a practice without being reprimanded, it will be the first time. Right. Basketball, Curtis, and you can answer this better, but like I feel like basketball players don't really physically fight as much, but basketball, like verbal exchanges, you're playing pickup, you're playing whatever, it's pretty hostile. Like I think people would be stunned if they heard some of the things that DJ Wagner and Darius Acuff probably say to each other on a daily basis while they're playing,
100%, man.
Yeah. I was also going to say, since there's only been one of us that's been a coach at a major level, Curtis, who did you fight? Come on now. You got to spill. Who did you fight in practice?
The referee that teed up Muss.
No, he just kicked me out of the game too. No, nobody. Now we had fights at practice. I don't think we ever had a coach fight though.
So let me ask you, if you had a fight at practice, were you the coach that you rolling here? Hey guys, all right, let's everybody chill out. Or you just sitting there back, you're like, no, let him go.
Yeah, I was definitely that guy. Let him cook. It depends on who it was though, because the practice before we left town to go to our first national tournament game, our two captains got in a fight. Like the two nicest guys in the world. They were throwing punches at each other in a damn rebounding drill. I was like, oh, this is weird. But then there were times like we had a knucklehead on the team or whatever, and somebody finally got tired of him and punched him in the face. And I was like, all right, let him roll around a little bit. That's fine.
So let them get after it, man. Let them get after it. Let them have their time. Let them cook a little bit, and it's going to be okay. Because I guarantee you all, folks, and I'm not saying fans are like freaking out and thinking this is a big deal, but I'm just saying if you are one of those people that think you don't like seeing fights, you don't like seeing tussles, you don't like seeing altercations in fall camp and everything, I promise you that if Arkansas goes 4-8 this year, not a single one of you are going to be like, man, I knew as soon as that fight broke out between the reported fight between Petrino and Travis Williams, it was just downhill from there. You're going to be like, no, because this team couldn't cover anybody in the secondary, and they just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. That's what's going to be the issue.
All due respect to our beloved offensive coordinator, I wouldn't want those problems. No. I wouldn't be challenging Travis Williams anything. Physically, man.
He would be he'd be about minus 1150 in that.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
So I made a joke. Made the joke in the Discord, man. I was just like, man, Arkansas's had some little fellas with some anger problems, man. That's just between Muss and Petrino. It's like the angriest, because I'm not saying Dave's a little fella, but Dave's not a big guy, but I don't think he's. Oh, I mean, of course, I don't know. Maybe he has gotten in a fight with, maybe him and Bobby Wernis took blows or something like that. I don't know, but
now that's one I think Dave would absolutely obliterate Bobby Wernis. Like I know he's younger and all that, and he's taller. I think Dave would break Bobby Wernis down.
I noticed you didn't go straight to Nate Thompson.
I think Dave would probably handle it.
Dude, I don't know. Like Dave Van Horn's got the old man strength, like that dad strength where you look at this guy, he's like, oh, that guy doesn't even spend the time in the gym, but he's like, whenever he wants to, suddenly he just eats spinach like Popeye and just blows up and becomes a man.
Low center of gravity for sure.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to continue on here with the show, folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in here today. But want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends at Hickey and Hole Law, where you may be going through some tough times, especially when it comes to divorce and custody cases. It's not something you need to ever face alone, because if you do, there's so many things that could go through and slip through the fingers of everybody. There's so many details that you have to go through to make sure that you're protected, that your family's protected, your assets are protected, everything is protected. That's why you need Hickey and Hole Law to help you out. They help thousands of family when it comes to law cases, and they have experienced every scenario that has ever come up. So give them a call today if you need help with this. Not just divorce and custody, but criminal, civil litigation, personal injury, estate planning. They do it all. It's Hickey and Hull Law. Call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check them out online at hickeyandhull.com. Okay, I know we'll get to the chat, but real quick, I just want to play this clip from Travis Williams about Cam Ball, because we like Cam Ball. Cam Ball's a big energy guy, and we know that he went through some things this summer, especially when it talked about the passing of his dad and everything. But I just love any time that we get a chance to hear about Cam Ball, who didn't participate in the scrimmage, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday. Nothing serious, but just was held out. But love to hear the energy about Cam Ball here from Travis Williams.
He's unbelievable. Cam gonna be like successful. He's gonna play on Sundays. He's gonna have probably a successful business or run some type of successful program or be in politics or something. I don't know, but he is a great human being. He lights up the room. It's hard to find, and that's something like that needs to be celebrated. Like, he is a Arkansas man. He stayed here, didn't leave. People was coming at him with a lot of money, and he stayed here. So when you're talking about, okay, he's going to be a guy that could come back to football games and people going to know who he is. He could be able to bring his kids here. It means something because he stuck it out. This year 5 is unheard of. So he's a guy that's embraced the state. He's a guy that loves the state. He's an unbelievable human being. I could go on and on about Cam. He's unbelievable.
So a lot there by Cam, but guys, I could be wrong. Was he saying that somebody was tampering and offering Cam Ball a lot of money in the offseason? I don't think that happens in college athletics or anything like that. Come on.
First of all, shout out to President Ball, future President Ball. He's got my vote. There's no doubt about it. It seems like the Razorback coaches have gone out of their way to make it very, very publicly known that other schools offered Cam Ball a lot more money than they could pay to go play football for them, and he chose to remain a Razorback. That is at least the third coach that has brought this up.
That's the only part of that entire clip that I did not like, him mentioning that. And I get why he did it. He's trying to prop up Cam.
He's a hog dog. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also because what it does is it implies, of course, that they could not pay enough money to keep Cam Ball, which is not the message I'd want to send. It also implies that Cam is taking a pay cut to be a Razorback, which I don't like that assertion. It also implies that it would have been not a good thing. It would have made Cam is a good guy for not leaving. That it would have been bad had Cam accepted a larger offer. It's in this era of college football, I don't think that's the message you want to send out either. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of things to celebrate about Cam Ball. I mean, him being a 5-year Razorback is awesome. The personality, we've talked about it a ton. We love that. We love how much he embraces being a Razorback. We love what he brings to the table as a football player. I think everything Travis said about him is 100% accurate. We don't have to make the money aspect a part of this story to tell a good Cam Ball thing. But in terms of the whole clip of, he'll be able to come back to Arkansas and he should never have to buy a drink in Arkansas. And we should all be able to, every time Cam Ball comes back, he's pretty big, pretty recognizable. It'll be cool. And I look forward. I think that's going to be awesome in 15, 20 years. Cam will be able to bring his kids to Fayetteville and be like, hey, this is where I made a legacy. I played 5 years here, did all this. I think that's awesome. We really don't have to do the he took a pay cut because we're poor bit again.
Yeah. And I get the sentiment. I feel like if it was a different story or scenario that was drawn out, it may be a little bit more endearing. Say, for instance, that Cam was getting paid as, we'll just throw a number out there. Say if Cam Ball was getting paid $1 million at Arkansas, and then somebody or a bunch of teams came and said, hey, $2 million, let's do that. Hey, come over here, $2 million. And he's like, man, no, I'm about being a Razorback and all that. And then because of that, Arkansas came in. It's like, man, we appreciate that. We're going to match and give you $2 million because you decided to stay here. We didn't even have to offer. Something like that may have been a pretty endearing story. But yeah, I'm kind of with you guys it's I get it, but I don't know. Just it's continuing to add to the constant narrative that is very much evident and true that this is the discount double check of a Razorback roster right now.
This is what they want, though. They want to be that. They want to be that program. And look, because I understand the premise of, like I see a couple people talking about the hometown discount and stuff like that. I understand the premise, and I think it happens in sports all the time, and it will continue to. I don't think if we're celebrating Cam Ball, I don't think we should use that. You know what I mean? I don't think that should be part of it. I think you should not continue to paint that narrative of you being the poor university where if you want to make money, you got to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Could have literally done the thing about, he could have gone somewhere else and, there were other people calling. Yeah, you have to bring up the financial aspect of it. That's all.
For sure. Yep.
Absolutely. A few chats here too, because I know we'll have best and worst of the weekend and have some other really cool things to talk about that I know you're all going to be excited about. But shout out to our guy, Jacoda. Says, I've been up for 30 hours straight, my man. Sitting in the recovery room with wife with our new baby boy, all is well, just in time for football. Congrats, dude. That's awesome. That's
very
awesome.
cool, man. Yeah.
Get some sleep time, brother.
Yeah.
He said he was hallucinating. Said he was on his third energy drink or so. He's all over it.
Dude, it's something I know Curtis is definitely going to be staying up for 30 hours. My only, not that I know of all that, but hey, creatine, my friends, creatine helps. It definitely helps.
Hey, Jacoda, you can tell your child the story about integrity, about what it takes to win a trivia competition and not lie about it. And you can, that's the standard you want to set for your offspring.
That's right.
You remember Jacoda had some funny business the other day on the members only stream. Only the members in the chat will get that one.
Yeah. Only the insiders of Arkansas will really know what is going on there. Let's see. A few other ones there. Oh, shout out to Whitty. Look at this. He's been a member. Speaking of membership for 3 months. Appreciate it, Whitty. It says, spent 6 hours in a chair last night getting my first tattoo, half sleeve for my daughter. Nice. Yeah.
First tattoo, and you went right to the sleeve, eh?
Okay. Is it of your daughter? Is it a name? Or I'm just curious of when you say it's for your daughter, what's it looking like? I'm sure you'll have pictures, and I'm sure you'll shoot them our way whenever it starts to come to fruition there. But that's awesome, man. Also to Dylan, okay, I'm just gonna address. He says, I know damn good that's not a Gonzaga shirt, John. No, it's not a Gonzaga shirt. Listen, it's Fayetteville High School. So I went to Fayetteville, and today's first day of school for so many. So that's what it is. Why would I wear a Gonzaga shirt?
But also a serious question. What do y'all think that would mean if John wore a Gonzaga shirt? Do y'all would that really actually make y'all upset? Oh, John, that's a team from the West Coast Conference. We played them in the NCAA tournament 5 years ago. What, John? It's like, dude, who cares? Who cares what shirts they're wearing? If it were Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, okay. But it's Gonzaga.
Yeah. Just I would have laughed about it, but also too, it's what do you think that even if does he think I just became a fan of Gonzaga? It's I've always wanted to support Mark Few and the boys over there. Come on, it's just so dumb. Let's see, man. Some people are all over the place today, but shout out to our guy Parker. He says tuned in from Destin for the week. Have fun with that, my man.
Good for you.
Hell yeah. Look for Ed Orgeron.
Yeah. Look for Ed Orgeron going on runs on the prowl, looking for some cougs out there, man. That's what he does.
Finch says he's back from the beach, but I don't believe him.
He's calling out his lies. By the way, guys, real quick, I don't know what it is, but already Whitty just sent me something on Instagram, so I'm
nice.
I'm sure it's the video or something like that of his tattoos. Okay, so let's see. Also, Jacoda wanted to say this. Said the whole morning my son has been getting out of his swaddle with his left arm. Next Arkansas lefty coming in 18 years. So
I like that. You need someone when there's 2 outs in the 6th inning and you got a big power bat coming up. You need a lefty to come in there and spin that slider and get him out. So looking forward to
it. Just be working it. But who knows? Maybe it ends up being a left-handed point guard. Those are important.
Courtney Fortson action.
Yeah, Courtney Fortson. Yeah, make that happen. Also, shout out to our guy Trace. He says it's my birthday tomorrow. Any chance I could get a happy birthday from the legends at Inside Arkansas? Well,
before we say anything, should we wait till tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can't give them anything today.
We don't prematurely wish birthdays on people. Yeah.
Fair enough. I just want to make sure we know the rules. So Trace, we have nothing for you today.
You got to pull up tomorrow. We got you.
And just please remind us tomorrow, because I know I'm going to forget. And so just be sure to remind us. But Yeah. No, what I was going to say is that one, I don't know about the legends part. And two, I could spend a whole rant about how it pisses me off. Not you, Trace, it's not a you, but like people, like girls mainly, that's like, it's my birthday month. So I'm just going to be posting birthday month stuff. And I'm like, so when is your birthday? Oh, it's August 25th. Okay. Why are you celebrating it on August 4th? Like, why are you making a post? It's my birthday month. What does that mean? Like, I don't, that just drives me up a wall. So
Do you guys have spouses that do the half birthday thing? You know, people who do a half birthday thing. Does anybody in this chat do the half birthday thing? That bothers me.
Wild behavior.
So
I don't even know what the hell mine is.
I don't either. So, but is that really a thing? Like, what is it? Just like
Yes.
So I guess if I'm October 3rd, that would make it like March 3rd, maybe, I guess would be my half birthday.
Or 6 months or whatever it is. Yeah. People do that,
April,
man.
Right.
It's weird.
I
mean, I was kind of it was a good time. Don't get me wrong, Andrew, but I was like, Christmas in July is kind of strange, honestly. But hey, whatever.
Wow. I'm happy to learn that Trace is actually still here after you insulted him the other day.
Might take John rage that I go to SAU
instead of Tech.
Oh man, don't do that.
Maybe we should wish an early happy birthday, honestly.
There you go. Yeah. Early happy birthday. Are they the Bullwinkles or something? Isn't that what SAU is?
Something weird, yeah.
The Moose Knuckles or something?
Boll Weevils?
It's not that.
Not the Moose Knuckles.
Something to that extent, I think, is what I've heard. So totally makes sense to me. Also, a few more chat. Mule Riders. There we go. Same thing as Moose Knuckles. Same thing. Let's see. You got Jacob saying, how do you guys think players in the transfer era will get up for games? What is their buy-in? Trey Biddy brought this up for the Ole Miss game.
So, okay, we talk about this a lot, and obviously it's a thing to an extent. Like, we always do the thing where we're like, hey, it matters more to the in-state kids. And while I don't think that's like completely unfair, I think it's one of those things that we talk about more than it actually is a thing. Because, like, think about it. If you're trying to play in the NFL, or you're just a collegiate athlete at the SEC level, which makes me think you're a legitimate adult that is trying to make a career, if you really are like sitting there in the locker room pregame and you need someone to come tell you to like, hey, I know you've only been here for a few months, but you need to play hard today. Like, you're probably not an athlete that is really, really an SEC level guy. You know what I mean? Like, most of the guys that are playing at this level of college football or basketball or whatever it is, I don't think they're really like, they need all this exterior motivation. Does it help? Sure. But like, I err on the side of like, this isn't as much of a thing as we make it out to be. I think it's more just about each player, their own individual thing. And of course, if you believe in your coach, you'll play harder and all that. But I think we've seen plenty of teams that have a lot of transfers that play their absolute asses off. I've seen players from the state of Arkansas outright quit on the field multiple times. So it's like, I think that it's a thing that we talk about. I don't think it's as much of a real thing in real life. Like, I think a lot of these guys are motivated internally on a level that normal human beings probably can't really relate with.
And you could sell me on the idea of, being fired up to stick it to, Jalen Braxton and Patrick Kudus or whatever. But at the same time, you do have to understand that these were guys who, it was like a blood, sweat, and tears thing together for the longest. So yeah, like there might be some bad blood with certain guys there, or people who didn't like the way that it went down or the way that they left, however, whatever. But they were also like it's kind of like the band of brothers thing, to where I think fans tend to take that a little bit more personally than the other guys. For a lot of the guys, the players and everything, especially in this era, we just talked about the transfers. Like they kind of view it as, hey, business decision, good luck, more opportunity for me. See you in week 3, whatever.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll have more chats and a lot more to get into, but I want to remind everybody, brought to you by our friends at Basis Health, where they're changing the way healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn so much more at basishealth.org today. Now, before we get into this real quick, Curtis, I wanted to ask you, this field goal by Cam Little, was this part of your best, or was this something that you were wanting to talk about? Because I don't want to steal it we want to save it for our best of the weekend. But
I have other bests of the weekend that we can go to if we want to get to that now.
Okay, yeah, I just was thinking that since we all were going to talk about it, we love our pro Hogs. Pro Hogs are always great. And we know it's NFL preseason. But if you didn't have a chance to see this, folks, this was about, I don't care about preseason football really, but this was about as cool of a thing in preseason football as you could get yesterday with Cam Little, the kicker, former kicker of Arkansas now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, kicking an 70-yard field goal.
Would be an NFL record.
In the first half. Holy smokes.
That's unbelievable.
Come on, how awesome is that? How awesome is that?
And then look at him right there. Skinny little dude, man.
Yeah.
The biggest leg on the planet.
Yeah. In fact, here's the celebration too. So it was just like an angle from just the field side for what he did on the celebration. Anyway, it was just an awesome moment. And Cam, we knew he was a good kicker, but I don't care what anybody says. I think it should count. It won't. I know it's not an official NFL game, but kicking a 70-yard field goal is still it blows my mind. It'd be an NFL record. I feel like it's his. Just personally.
Man, I'm still trying to wrap my head around the aerodynamics and everything involved in that. Especially that last angle there. You see, anytime you see somebody hit a field goal like that, you think, okay, they must be huge. They must squat 1,000 pounds, or they got a full gainer and put all their leg into it. But no, it's just kind of the standard, just like he was doing an extra point, little chop the feet, kick it through, no big deal. I have no idea how that happens. It's unbelievable, man. That dude is special. And I hope, hell, why wouldn't you after that you give him an opportunity to do that during the season? They're always in a position to score points with Cam Little on the team. And I miss those days. Maybe Starzik will wind up being really good for Arkansas this year, but good grief, man. That was insane. I thought it was a joke when I was seeing it going around. At first I was like, oh, they just let him attempt one. That's cute or whatever. No, he nailed it. That's crazy.
I mean, and it didn't look like something that, like you said, it's not like it took all the might in his body to get that one through. And he even said, I think he said after the game, he's like, I would, do anything crazy, but he's like, that's not going to be the last 70-yarder I kick. I didn't see an angle from the goalpost. It seemed like it had at least a couple yards to spare. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not out of the question this dude can make a 72, 73-yarder, which is insane. I imagine he's going to get some opportunities this regular season to kick, whether it's 67, 68, like whatever. Like, it's going to be kind of, we talked about the red zone channel. The red zone is whenever the Jaguars are approaching midfield. You know what I mean? It's like the red zone can be anywhere if Cam Little's your kicker. That's awesome. I learned a lot about kicking from Cam Little at his pro day. One, just getting to watch him up close and personal. One of our highest viewed videos of all time is Cam Little's pro day workout, and it actually went viral again the other day. It had like 100 or 1,000 people watch it the other day. Watching him, just the way he's so efficient with everything he does, and he talked about it a lot in his interview after that. Like, it's not about leg strength. Like everyone always says, he's got a big leg, he's got a strong leg, and he's like, it's about the efficiency in which you hit that ball. It's about ball striking, which if you're a golfer, you kind of know. And because I remember asking him, I was like, are you worried about the college to NFL? It's a bigger ball, and he's like, the NFL ball, it's like a bigger target. He's like, so you can hit it more efficiently and more consistently, and it seems like he's figured it out. He had a really solid rookie year. I mean, to say that his leg has translated to the NFL level is kind of an understatement. I've seen some people in the chat being like, oh, hey, he's the new Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker last year was one of the worst kickers in the NFL. He is officially washed up. The title, the belt for like best kicker in the NFL is up for grabs. Cam Little's ready to make his claim, man. I love to see it. And
it's all Razorbacks in the running too. How about that?
Dude, I was about to say,
how about that?
I know it's like doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme as a Razorback fan, but if you really step back and think about the insanity that arguably the two best kickers in the NFL right now both went to the University of Arkansas, were on the team at the same time. Like how often does that happen? One, where you have two starting kickers in the NFL from one school anyways, like even if they played 10 years apart, but two, to have them on the same dadgum team, like that is just craziness. Hey, Scott Fountain, man, the guy's got it. Recruiting legend. He knows what he's doing. So, yeah, it was pretty electric though to see that for Cam. And, I guess because I was talking with somebody, the only game-winning field goal he hit at Arkansas was the LSU game in overtime, right? as far as game winners go. I know he's pretty consistent.
Definitely, like in terms of like expiring clock or like walk-offs like that. Yeah, I think that is the only one.
Yeah, I mean,
he had a chance against A&M.
Yep. It's also something we've never ever seen. A ball hit the top of an upright on a kick. Still to this day, can't believe it. But yeah, but honestly, do you guys think it should count or no? Because it was preseason.
No, it shouldn't count.
Okay.
I mean, you're talking about as the official NFL record. Yeah, no, you got to do it in a regular season game.
Yeah.
But like again, I don't think it's out of the question that he does it literally next like 2 weeks from now in the regular season. But yeah, I think it's a dangerous game when you start counting records that aren't official NFL games.
Yeah. No, and I get that, and I do agree. It's just one of those things where I'm like, it'd be kind of cool though, just it'd be cool for this one record to count, even though the rest of them wouldn't. But that's okay there too. So, because this item lead to something that Trace brought up here. He says, with Frank Ragnow retiring, who is the best current NFL Pro Hog? So Cam Little and Jake Bates might be.
I mean, those guys are. If you're in terms of just who is the best at their respective positions, it's those guys. And I mean, I don't know what we're judging this off of. Those guys definitely have a case. I think Hunter Henry is coming off a pretty solid year. Like, he's decent. Greenlaw just got a big deal. There's not a ton of like front line because Trey Flowers at this point is past his prime for sure. I don't even know if he's still in the league. Dietrich Wise is still cooking, but he's not quite in his still prime. There's not a ton of great ones. Am I missing someone?
What's Cam Curl up to?
He's a good one. He's solid. I don't know what his I don't really look at like what his grades and stuff are like. But yeah, he's young. He's like 25, 26. He'll be a nice candidate for the next few years for sure.
I'm curious if also too, since we're talking about NFL and everything, like, this past year, Arkansas had only 2 players drafted in the NFL, right? With Landon Jackson and Isaac TeSlaa. Is there just 2, or am I missing another one?
I think it's just those 2 because obviously Armstrong did not get the nod.
Yeah, makes me wonder if this will be a year they have even less than that. Just being honest. It's not. I'm not trying to hate on anybody, but just right now, I don't know if Arkansas is going to eclipse that right there. But still,
I'll tell you who's an underrated Pro Hog, Monteric Brown.
Buster.
He's become a pretty good player down there in Jacksonville. He's teammates with Cam Little. I think he started a bunch of games last year for the Jaguars. Like, he was like a 6th or 7th round pick that not only made the team, but is like entering year 4. Like, he's having a good little run.
Should I denounce my allegiances to the Texans and go with the Jaguars?
I think you should.
They're a pretty entertaining team.
Curtis.
You should.
Same division, dude. You can't tease me like that and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna be buddies and we're gonna be NFL, and then join a team in the division, bro.
I'm not a big fan of the quarterback. I do like some of their draft picks this year. They got some Pro Hog flavor. I mean,
You like Travis Hunter?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Man, again, it just feels like Jacksonville and the Patriots have had the most like hogs in the NFL. I don't know if that's true, because even rest in peace, Chris Smith. He was at Jacksonville for a little bit there too. So I don't know if there's anything to that. It could just be random for what it is, but still, it's just something I always thought it was pretty funny for all that intents and purposes. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and do our best and worst of the weekend and dive into that, because I know we'll have some chats and, of course, get into our Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas topics of conversation today. I have just a few random ones. One of my best of the weekends, though, is I'm not even going to say I'm a Jets fan anymore, because the Jets suck, and they have for a while, and they stopped trying, so it's really hard to get excited or anything. But I will admit that I used to hate Tom Brady, but I kind of do now. Well, he had a little bit of a statue ceremony happening over the weekend, and I appreciated and at least respected the shade he threw to the New York Jets.
And this statue isn't just for Pats fans. It'll also give all the Jets fans something to throw their beers at as they leave the stadium every year. Probably in the second quarter. Maybe the third.
So that's just, again, I respect it, and for whatever, I know the reason, but it's just funny that Tom Brady and the Patriots had a lot of haters, like the Colts fans, that was a rivalry, Bills, Dolphins, all that, but he truly, truly, truly does hate the Jets more than anybody. But I saw that, and it made me laugh. I got a pretty good kick out of that. So good on you, Tom Brady, for still having that hatred in your burning heart right there for the New York Jets, even on your own statue day with the Patriots.
That's good. I like it. I like it a lot. So I had two more. I see one of them down below, so I'm gonna hold on one, and then I'm just gonna pull up something funny. This made me happy right before the show started. Shout out to Queens, who Arkansas is going to play on December 16th in a basketball game. They announced their non-conference schedule today, and they did the thing where it's like, we asked AI to generate our non-conference schedule. The head coaches as babies or whatever. Well, there's Cal, and maybe that sold Michelle on us naming this kid John Vincent Wilkerson. But that was good, man. I liked it. Anytime I see those things, I go through all of them. And as I was making my way through, because this is damn near their last non-conference game, I was like, what is Cal going to look like here? I wish he wasn't in the Navy suit. It's okay. I'll deal with it. But I thought it was funny, man. So it tickled me.
I like that one.
I feel like he, I don't know. I'm not saying that this has to be accurate to what he looked like as a baby, but I feel like as a baby, he's probably smiling a lot more than this kid. This kid looks like he's scared. No, the Cal wasn't scared. He came out of the womb ready. He was ready to roll. So
you think AI would put in inaccurate stuff out there, John? You really think that?
I know, right? Crazy concept there that would go wrong.
I know we've talked a lot about professional sports on the show today, or just kind of here recently. But it's a big weekend for pro sports. It's kind of a big time of year for pro sports. Obviously, baseball's kind of entering the home stretch, about to get those September call-ups, enter the postseason. Sorry, Curtis. I know it sucks, but baseball's been fun. NFL, it was cool that this was the first real week of NFL preseason, not just the Hall of Fame game where few select guys are here. Full NFL action. Love seeing people freak out over Shedeur Sanders having a pretty good game.
Quinn Ewers not.
Yeah, it's just hilarious, and it's like you see other guys like Skylar Thompson. He was like 9 for 13 with 3 touchdowns or something like that. Did y'all see Quinn Ewers' stat line? It
was like 5 of 18.
God, he was horrible.
Not good.
But anyways, it's just funny this time of year to kind of we have football and we're like, oh yeah, football. And then we look at it, it's like the worst product of all time in these preseason games. But I want to talk about MLB for just a moment. Specifically my guys in Houston, the Astros. So the Astros got a big series win over the Yankees, which is always nice. I mean, over the last decade or so, the Astros have just absolutely owned the Yankees regular season and postseason. And Jose Altuve has kind of been a huge member of that. Jose Altuve joined a very exclusive list recently. Yesterday, he hit his 250th home run for his career. There are 3 players in the history of the MLB who have 250 home runs, 300 stolen bases, and a 300 average for their careers. Nobody loves arbitrary stats more than me. Willie Mays, Derek Jeter, Jose Altuve. Now, Willie Mays does have 600 home runs, so he's clearly the biggest one in that group. But Jose Altuve, man, had a ridiculous career. Wanted to commemorate him. Carlos Correa has been awesome in an Astros uniform. It's been a good time of year.
Yeah. Also, to that point, because again, you know how I am a big baseball guy. I just thought this was cool. I could be completely wrong. It's kind of lame, but I did see the deal where Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer, with them facing each other for the first time. Which the last time that they faced each other was in 2008 when that game that was supposed to be Randy Johnson versus Greg Maddux. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah, they weren't even supposed to play in that game in 2008, but they did. And this is now the next time that they're going to be meeting. And the guys that were supposed to pitch were those two. So those are the baseball things I just think is really fascinating and cool. So
shout out Justin Verlander for being 53 years old, and he's still pitching. Yep. And just like a 4.6 ERA for the Giants, just like a fit starter in the he's not even on a good team. It's just he's just literally out there just pitching. Tom Brady was like, hey, I don't want to I'm going to lose my marriage, but I'm going to try and win another Super Bowl. Justin Verlander is just I want to just pitch league average starting pitching this year.
Play ball, man. Yeah.
And he's got kids at home. That's crazy.
That's right. All right. Worst of the weekend, guys. I'll tell you what, I'm going to save mine for last because I think that's a discussion that needs to be made. So, Curtis or Andrew, whoever wants the honors, you kick us off for your worst of the weekend.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure what direction you're headed with this.
I don't think we have the same one.
I don't know. Anyway, another one that I had that I just wanted to pull up here. Did you guys see the CD Lamb thing?
I did see the CD Lamb thing.
I did not see the CD Lamb thing.
All right. Well, he didn't play in the preseason game. He did take a big hit, and it's not the type of hit that you want to take. It's a tough look. Little celebration there. Oh, yeah. Oh, got flattened by a fish. Let's watch this one more time.
Oh, man.
Is that a Duke hat? No, it's Dallas, isn't it?
Oh,
Just got flattened, bro.
what are you
What's
doing?
funny about this video is like you see the players in the background running toward him, and you're kind of like, oh, the action on the field is going to spill out, and it's like, oh no, it's coming from just the ref full speed. He was sprinting down the line.
Did he get a flag for that, by the way, or no?
Oh, I really don't know.
I mean, you should have what?
Yeah, he was very close to the playing field.
I mean, what else could it be? Like, you're literally not only getting in the way of the official, but you're not even paying attention to what's going on. You're over there
brutal,
like, yeah.
dude. And there's nothing worse than that. I will say a lot of NFL refs have become jacked nowadays. Like that's kind of their thing. I don't know that this was necessarily one of them either. And he just got steamrolled there. It's just tough, man. Whether I was in pads or not, if I got ran over by a ref for any reason, even if I wasn't paying attention, it just doesn't matter. It's tough, man. Tough.
Well, I mean, it's just physics. When you're standing, I mean, I know he was kind of moving, but he was basically standing still and not bracing for impact. You have a grown man running full speed. Like that is going to hurt. And I bet he, probably got the neck. I just love the idea that Dallas was like, it's week 1 of preseason. Let's not play our star receiver. Let's keep him healthy. And he just gets smacked. Just takes a hit harder with no pads than he probably would have taken in the game. Hilarious.
Taken out by stripes. That's tough.
Man. Well, hey, listen, real quick. Michelle's over here saying the amount of times I've gotten yelled at or the team for having a foot on the white. Oof.
Oh my gosh, man. I don't know how many times I've heard that too. Yeah, it's doing the athletic training thing on the sideline. It's crazy. They literally have people who are like assigned to yell at you for that. It's nuts, dude.
Dude, why
get out of the way of the
Jets
chain gang,
so
everything.
People are like really upset. And Sham Hitman's like, it was a preseason game. Nobody cares. Glorified practice. I don't know if this is a reference. If this is a reference to Cam Little, I'm really mad at you. If this is a reference to CeeDee Lamb, I don't understand. But everything we've talked about today, I just look at the chat and they're sad. Why are y'all so sad today? It's Monday. It's a great day. Well, having said that, I'm gonna do my very sad worst of the weekend now. So LSU had a running back arrested over the weekend, and I know I sent this to you guys. And as a fan of an SEC team, we always like to point and laugh at other SEC teams when they have kids arrested. And I don't want to make light of this seriously, because I know we do it a lot, especially when it's a Georgia Bulldog and it's a DUI, because they just love getting DUIs. But this kid, this one hit a little bit close to home because he's from my hometown of Alexandria. JT Lindsey, a freshman running back for LSU, went to the same high school as me and basically carried our high school to almost the state title. I mean, he took him to the state title game. But I mean, he was an awesome high school player, and everybody was really excited about him going to LSU, getting ready to start fall practice right here, and he gets arrested as an accomplice to murder, basically, because there was 2 guys that were charged and accused of murder in Alexandria, Louisiana, our hometown, and then they came and stayed with him in his Baton Rouge apartment as he's getting ready to start his freshman year at LSU. And when I first saw the story, I was like, dude, this is crazy. We're gonna arrest this kid, and it's a felony charge and all this. I'm like, just because he had 2 guys come stay at his dorm, like, come on, are we really doing this? And his lawyer was like, yeah, it was unbeknownst to him. And he even said in the statement, had I known they were accused of murder, I would have, I wouldn't have let him stay with me. And I was like, man, this feels like the kid got a raw deal. They did find multiple guns and an AR-15 in his dorm, which is tough. And I'm bringing this up, and I know we like to always kind of laugh at other people. And I've said for a long time, LSU is a bad place. It's a place where bad people go. This sucks for me because our hometown is Alexandria is an absolute dump. In fact, always in the top 10 to 15 of most dangerous cities. Most crime, most everything per capita. And so it always sucks. And anytime a player a kid like JT Lindsey can get out and kind of make it somewhere else. And he was he was literally this close. It's literally his first fall camp as a collegiate athlete. And now he's tied up in this thing that is likely going to affect the rest of his life. I hate it for him. I mean, I don't, LSU, we love making fun of them, but sucks to see someone from my hometown, have a chance to really go out there and make something. And we'll see how it plays out. maybe it's all a big mistake and a big mix up. I don't know, but man, it really sucks. And my heart goes out to like the whole area and his family and all that. It just sucks.
No, it was pretty rough. Hopefully we don't have to hear any wrong place at wrong time type of defense for something like this. Let's hope not. Okay, so for my worst, a little bit more lighthearted, but still my worst. All right, John Gruden, man.
The only reason I really came here is I want to coach again. I'm being honest with you. I do not bullshit either. I want to coach again. I'd die to coach in the SEC. I would love it. I would fucking love it.
Immediately, everyone took this clip and is like, Gruden's going to be coaching in the SEC next year. We have people doing about, all right, so what's the most likely scenario for Gruden as far as the SEC schools go? I got Florida over here. Florida's looking good. Oklahoma could be this. His wife cheerleaded at Tennessee, so maybe they'll fire Josh Heupel for that. Arkansas is into the mix too. And listen, I love Gruden. And if Gruden became the head coach at Arkansas, you could butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Like, I would be so happy, and it would be the greatest thing ever. But it's just, hopefully people just understand this is just him. This is what he does. He's good at it. You don't think that he didn't know that video was rolling on him? You don't think that he didn't know that him saying something like that specifically would get the people going? Of course it did. But it's just, I guess, the overreaction that people have where they think that it's such a crazy thing that he would say this. He must have something in store. I don't even know. Maybe he does. But I just feel like sometimes people, and I'm talking about myself this way too, because I did my Locked On a segment of it, just talk about this is like, oh gosh, dude, it's such a crazy thing. He's going to be the head coach at Arkansas. He's going to be the head coach at wherever. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like he knows he's really good at the marketing, branding, and video viral stuff. And that's all it is right now. He could be a coach, but if he's not, I mean, how long have we been hearing that John Gruden's going to be coaching college football? And he hasn't. So it's like, I don't know. I like it, but I get tired of it too. At the same time, people's overreactions to it. So we're going to have some Gruden.
I might take the exact opposite stance here. I love it. I love all this.
It's funny to me. I actually had like a combo best and worst of the weekend, and my best was going to be the John Gruden coming back to coaching hype, and my worst was going to be the Jimbo Fisher.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one.
Because of the way I feel about the two separate things. I am picking up what you're putting down there though, John, for sure. I just I've been laughing all weekend at Jimbo Fisher. He's got a ring, for whatever it's worth. I know he had a bunch of money. He didn't do anything at Texas A&M, and he says what he says about, oh yeah, man, I'd love to get back into it. I feel like I got a lot more to get back to the game. I ain't heard nobody around here say anything about him, but Gruden, man, people have been going crazy about it. Send that man a care package and let him say pig suey, and they're all over it.
That's what's going to happen. That's going to happen where Arkansas is going to be in the running for Gruden, and he's going to go to Auburn or Oklahoma, and then Arkansas is going to hire Jimbo Fisher, and it's just going to be pissed. Everyone's going to be mad. And it's like, why are we hiring this guy that just literally is collecting? What was it, guys? How much? Like 75 million or whatever it was from A&M guaranteed. He doesn't have any reason to coach. I just have a hard time believing that it's like, well, he couldn't win at A&M, but at Arkansas, he'll really, really try hard. Like, golly, I'll tell you this, unless you're like a small school that is taking risk, if any big school or a school that's really serious about winning hires Jimbo Fisher, then they deserve whatever happens to him. Because it's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah. Well, here's my stance on the John Gruden thing. Because I'm with you, John, in terms of John Gruden knew he was speaking to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
So if he were choosing that time to throw his name in the hat to coach elsewhere, that would be a weird place to do it. You know what I mean? Be like, oh yeah, I'd love to coach in the SEC against you guys. I think I could beat you. It's like, it would be kind of weird. He knew there was a camera on him. He definitely knew there was going to be a response. He knew this would get people talking, and he's been doing this for as long as I can remember. It's like when I was a child, I remember hearing John Gruden coaching rumors at the college level. So I'm with you in terms of we can't take things at face value, and we can't, assume that he would have any interest in being Arkansas's coach. I do, by the way, think that the Florida job, if we were in a situation where John Gruden is like, hey, I'm coming back to coach, now I just got to make my decision, I think the Florida job is the one I fear the most, because I think there's no way he would turn down the Florida job if Billy Napier got fired. I think that would be a tough one. But my thing is, we've been doing this John Gruden thing again for as long as I can remember having memories. We've been doing this John Gruden thing. Why abandon ship now? This is the closest, most realistic path we've ever had to John Gruden being the head coach at Arkansas. I still don't think it's likely. I still don't think it's even like in play really. But why abandon ship now? Why is now the time, John, that we're going to tell everyone to not have hope? For years, we've been doing this when there was no chance. Now that there actually might be a chance, now is not the time to abandon ship. All steam ahead. John Gruden can be the head coach at Arkansas. If we keep talking about it, it's going to happen.
Well, because Ellis, the powerhouse closed in Fayetteville, and you can't have John Gruden here without the secret meeting in the powerhouse. It's just what has to happen. No, and again, I want to reiterate, I love it. I laugh at it. It's the people that like literally, what do you think this means? Like taking it so seriously, as in like, oh, this was a big announcement from John Gruden that hey, this is what we're doing. I'm looking to go. Anybody, any takers? I'm available. It's like, yeah, he's probably been available, and there's probably been talks going on. But anybody taking this back, oh man, bombshell! Can you believe this? It's like it's pretty on brand. That's my whole point on it. So, but anyways, we'll continue on with our summer topics of discussion, as well as some of your chats and some other things too. Presented by our friends at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. Folks, this Wednesday, 2 days from now, we are going to be live down there at Hot Springs, at the Hot Springs Marina. We're Inside Arkansas Live as part of Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're in the Hot Springs area, come by and see us. We'll have some few giveaways, and we'll be telling you all about the great things that they got going on down there, as they are rapidly growing here in the state of Arkansas. So we're really looking forward to it. We're going to be outside and going to be hanging out next to boats and be on the water. So what better place to come hang out with us? So come check it out. Again, it's Freedom Boat Club. You can learn more about their club at freedomboatclubar.com, as they have locations at Greers Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, as well as the river there in Little Rock, with more locations to come. So check it out again today at freedomboatclubar.com. Okay, so we'll get into some summer topics of conversation here in just a little bit, but I did also want to bring this up really quick because it just always makes me laugh because I reposted it again. But happy first day of school to everybody. These are us. Once again, I just recycled the same pictures as last year. I sure did. So, yeah, it's a crazy thing. There's people, though, that we're talking about your picture, Ellis. Was a tuxedo required for your school picture, or was it an event that you were at where you had to wear a tux?
So it was required for the picture. I remember vividly taking this picture. That was not a real tux. That was I was wearing like athletic shorts underneath that. They were handing out those tops and, the little bow on, whatever. They handed them to us as we went in to take those pictures. I do remember that. But yeah, tuxes were required, and, just how it is.
Yeah. I also love that Curtis. This is my favorite thing about Curtis. He's got a Jurassic Park shirt on. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like, just if that doesn't say how the 90s were, man. Jurassic
Curtis
Park
is a closet dino dude, man. I love that.
Big dino guy.
Yeah. And then, of course, intern Reagan. I mean, she just looks like just the wholesome little girl picture that you see pretty much everywhere. But then me, I got the puka shell necklaces and the undershirt that folds into the collar because my neck was so fat from my roll, it folded in my collar. So it was like folded in. And then I don't even know what's going on the rest of the time. But either way, hopefully your first day of school or your kid's first day of school and the pictures that they will provide, hopefully they looked as good as we did when we were in school.
John, what year is this? Like 03, 04?
That's 2005. 2005.
Why does it because like when I look at that picture and I see the undershirt and I see the everything, I know that's what the early 2000s look like. Why does the picture itself look like it was 1960?
Listen, I went to my yearbook and I scanned it on my scanner, and maybe I should have used a higher resolution. I don't know, but that's just the way it went out.
I mean, it looked like that was 3 weeks ago. It was like high quality. That's good stuff.
Yeah, and that was probably that was probably right around the time Arkansas last cut down the nets.
Yeah.
This is SWC days.
That's right.
Well, as somebody tweeted at me too, they asked the same thing. I was like, no, it's just my face. Don't worry, it's not the picture, it's my face.
You look like Brendan, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, okay. Now I'm really done with this conversation. We are done with that conversation. I'm not gonna let him even listen to that. Good grief. All right. So let's get to these summer topics, and then we'll get to some of your chats before we close up shop here. So just, of course, sports, food, entertainment. sports wise, what is the biggest hit in Razorback sports history? And the reason I say sports is because maybe there's a hit. Baseball, we know we've seen some hits. Basketball, maybe we've seen some hits. I know football will be mainly known for it, but what would you say is the biggest or your favorite, however you want to put it, in Razorback sports history?
It's one of those days that I didn't look at these in advance. Right away, what came to my mind was Damon Mitchell. You guys remember that when he like decleated that dude from Florida? Why was he trying to run that kick? That's like trying to return a kickoff now. It was like 8 yards deep in the end zone. Wasn't it the start? It was the start of the second half. And they were already down 2 scores.
Arkansas whipped their ass in that game too.
They did. And he absolutely clobbered that dude. I'm sure there's like a million other better hits than this. Why is this coming to my mind? I'm thinking about the Outback Bowl against Penn State. You guys remember when Bumper Pool? It's like the Clifford dude was just kind of casually rolling out right, and Bumper Pool just absolutely unloaded on him. And I remember it was a big time hit. And then I think I wrote this in like the like we did the notes in the Inside the Numbers story or whatever. But he was like, they do call him Bumper for a reason. It's like, oh yeah, good one. Oh, that's what I got.
Those are good.
I like that. So my honorable mention, Dominic Fletcher, 450-foot home run off Brady Singer in the College World Series. I just, obviously I know we're talking football collisions. I just had to throw a baseball one in there just to be different a little bit. But my favorite football one that like the first one that came to my brain whenever I saw this was Santos Ramirez against Chad Kelly. 2016 at home. I've always said I was at that game with my brother. The loudest I've ever heard Razorback Stadium. Now, when you're in the press box, you can't really hear crowd noise that much because they have it, glassed up in there. But in terms of being a fan in the stands, that's the loudest I've ever heard. I love that one a lot. John, I need you to help me with this one. In that USC game that Arkansas lost 50-14, was that an Arkansas hit?
Yep.
Who was it?
It was Dallas Washington who picked up the USC guy on a kickoff and body slammed him. Like truly, if I would have thought about it, I would have brought up the clip. But yeah, he might go back. And there was no penalty called either. Like no penalty called. He literally picked him up and threw him down. And everyone went nuts. And that was about one of 2 highlights that Arkansas had from that game. But yeah, that was a pretty well-known hit. Honestly, also too, Andrew, I thought you were going to go baseball side with Heston Kjerstad shoving the Texas first baseman off the bag.
I got to be honest, it wasn't that firm of a collision. It was a funny moment, but like it wasn't like a real hit. You know what I mean? Right. It was just kind of a like gently set him down. It wasn't a collision.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess as far as gets like contact on contact, you can't be choosy when it comes to baseball. It doesn't happen as much anymore. But yeah, no, those are all great ones. That. I think the Dallas-Washington one may be the one that I think of. There's one, and I'm going to show my age here, but actually 2. There's one from Kenoy Kennedy, who played in 1997, 8, and 9. That was a hard-hitting safety for Arkansas, played for the Lions. One of my favorite players. If you go back and watch the Kentucky game, the one that Mike Leach talked about Little Rock being the loudest ever, he decleated a guy so badly. Of course, this was before targeting or anything. And he led with his shoulder, decleated it, that if you see the Kentucky player, his face mask is facing, like his helmet turned around. So his face mask is on the side of his head. And he's like waving, like he feels, and he's like waving at himself. And everyone was like, oh, does it mean he had a concussion? So apparently, I think I saw this after the game when they maybe asked him to play or whatever. He's like, I was waving off because I felt like there were flies buzzing in my ear. And I was waving them away because he got hit so hard. So I was like, geez, that sounds awful. But either way, he and also Ken Hamlin had some really big hits. I really like that. I think Quincy McAdoo had a big hit. I don't remember which one, though.
Liberty Bowl. He's like stood. I can't believe he didn't get penalized. It's funny. He got thrown out of the game later for a targeting. This hit was actually more gruesome, and he like stood over the dude. I'm like, I don't know. He may have spit on him, but he made the dude fumble, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Quincy was a bad man.
Yeah. It was really sad to see all that happen. But yeah, those are some of the ones. I was trying to think of some basketball one, but I just cannot remember. Maybe Devo's hip check into the scores table.
Devo's hip check into the scores table, and then also Kamani Johnson's cross body check of the dude at Vanderbilt that got Anthony Black going with the tears and everything. I cannot believe Kamani Johnson didn't get ejected from the game. He flattened that dude. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those are some good ones. Again, some connection to Mike. It's always the Muss era. I don't understand. Seems
Physical era that was.
yeah, yeah, very much so. Yeah, we'll get to the chats. So here's just a food one. It's a very simple one. But what is the best kind of French fry or cut of a French fry that you prefer?
Oh man, I'm pretty opinionated on my French fries, man. I like a variety of them. This is so tough, man. I'm gonna go with like the McDonald's cut as my number one. I like to have a little bit of. There's nothing worse than a soggy fry. I don't do floppy bacon. I don't do floppy chicken. I don't do floppy French fries. I gotta have a little bit of crisp, right? So, McDonald's fry, that style done right, is my favorite. I damn near said curly though. Love me a curly fry, man.
I do enjoy floppy bacon, but I don't enjoy floppy fries. So I'm with you on that. Like you got to have some type of, when you're eating it, you can't just be having a soggy, fat, potatoy fry. I'm tempted to say crinkle, but I want to make the qualification the skinny crinkle. It cannot be the 100%. Fat crinkle.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than whenever you're like, oh, crinkle cut fries, that'll be awesome, and it's just fat, potatoy that they don't have any crunch at all. So you basically have to eat it with a fork. That I hate that.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of like shoestring fries, like Freddy's and I think Steak and Shake maybe does that, like the really thin ones. What is the term for McDonald's cut fries? Because that's the perfect like length there, like the width, I guess. Like just those, like the nice girth there. It's like just a very thin, crispy, salted. Love that. Honorable mention to waffle. I do like waffle, John. John, do you have a surprise pick for us?
I mean, y'all pretty much covered it. I think the other one that I will throw in, and this is not my favorite, but I just like it, is sweet potato fries. I do like a sweet potato fry. I like to mix it up a little bit for the health reasons. It's good fiber. I
can't do the. It's like you might as well have a twice baked potato or something, like the huge steak fries or like the wedges or whatever.
I was gonna say, the wedges I can't do. I'm not a fan of those. And
I like them. I think I'll eat them, but they're definitely not like up there. I'm not like, oh, hell yeah, I got wedges. Some places have decent steak fries, but typically they end up getting undercooked and they're fat and soggy. And yeah.
Well,
the other fries that bother me, I'm sorry, the other fries that bother me a little bit are like the Long John Silver's type of fries. It's like it's almost like they were fried in the same grease and batter as the fish. You know what I'm saying?
Like there's seafood fries. That's what I call them, because everywhere you go that's seafood, they have that little extra layer.
Right. They're okay, but
people love those, Curtis. I'm telling you, there's gonna be people in the chat that are gonna be like, "What the hell? That's my favorite kind."
I know.
I've seen some people say that. I like them. They're fine. Not in my top 5 of fry cuts.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I would say that it's like because they're always consistently crunchy. That's like the benefit of them, is they're always crunchy. But yeah, of course, I also am one of those that thinks that tater tots are fries and hash browns are also fries, because it's all the same thing. It's potatoes that are fried. So why do we say waffle fries? Like, what's the difference between really a tater tot other than the shape of it and a fry? It's kind of the same, right?
It is kind of the same, but I do think they are different things.
Okay.
But I don't hate this take though. I really don't.
It's kind of put me in a pretzel here. I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah. It's like, because that's the thing, is like if you go to Chick-fil-A and you get the breakfast and they get you the little hash browns, those are basically tater tots anyways, but they call them hash browns because breakfast, once it's breakfast, it's hash browns. And so, but that's the thing, is it's like, we talk about different cuts, but at the end of the day, they're all the same potatoes that are fried. So, which is what tater tots are and hash browns. So that was just something I always thought about. But I will say, I am a tater tot guy, though. I actually prefer tater tot. If I go to certain places, but like Sonic, shout out to your Sonic love here, Alice. But if I go to Sonic, I'd rather have their tater tots in their fries. I always get them all the time. So there's that one. And also for the entertainment side, what is your favorite movie that centers around school, since it is first day of school for everybody? Like, what's your favorite movie? What's up?
Does Superbad count?
Yes.
Okay, then that's my favorite. And it's not like, I don't know if it's centered around school, but there's a lot of school in there. You guys know I love a good rom-com. One of my favorite rom-coms of all time, shout out to Heath Ledger, 10 Things I Hate About You, elite school film. He even goes down on the football field, I love you, baby. That whole thing. Those are my two that I have off the top of my head.
Okay. I have.
Those are good.
Yeah, like I have one that's like, I guess it's weird because there's a couple of them that are more serious, but they're really good movies. Did you guys ever see The Dead Poets Society by chance?
Yeah.
I did not.
Great movie.
I love that movie.
Great film.
It's Robin Williams at its best. Like if you haven't seen it, it's great. It's old. It's an older one, but it's good. I love that movie. The Scent of a Woman, kind of maybe, but I'm gonna like force it to be school. But there's like the ones. It's like you think about the high school movies. Like American Pie is technically like a school movie. So you could go a lot different. I mean, Superbad's definitely one of those. And I was trying to think. I had another one, but I didn't write it down of a comedy set. But yeah, the rom-coms. Can't Hardly Wait was one of those. I don't know if anyone remembers that movie. Probably not. But since I was a huge Jennifer Love Hewitt fan, she was in it. She was just smoking. And I remember when I was watching it as a kid.
By the way.
Yeah. I remember watching it as a kid. And when I say a kid, I was like, 10, 11, 12. I'm like, dude, so this is what high school is going to be like? Like Jennifer Love Hewitt's walking around in house parties. That's what it's going to be. It was not. High school was definitely not that. So, but yeah, that's just to name a few of those.
Billy Madison. Does that count? That counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's definitely up there.
That movie is very centered around school.
Very much so. Yeah.
I'd even consider School of Rock. It's school.
Yeah, School of Rock wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like School of Rock.
Little Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
How do you like them apples?
Yep. Throw that one in there. Yeah, you see like people saying like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Animal House to me is like a great one,
Did someone already say The Breakfast Club? Because I feel like that's like
No, but yeah.
I don't think we said it. Yeah.
It's not even necessarily like my favorite, but it's like when you think of like school-centered movies, I feel like that's a big one. John, did you say Ferris Bueller?
No, I didn't. I was about to
Ferris
say
Bueller. I don't know if is it centered around school? If it's skipping school?
Yes, 100%. Like that's the thing is what made me laugh is like just any decent movie from the 80s, school. It's just like
school was like a very big deal for movies back in the day. Like pretty much every movie involves some type of school scene.
Jonathan Montgomery's absolutely right.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues.
Somebody asked us, by the way, we're going to get to a super chat about our favorite football movies, and I knew this was going to come up.
Yep, Varsity Blues. It's that time of year. You got to check it out if you haven't, which we know certain people may have not. But we gotta do it.
High School Musical, by the way.
Sure.
Nah, it was a series. I was going to say Blue Mountain State.
I mean,
it's a series.
They came out with a movie, so
They did come out with a movie. That's right.
The movie was all right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So but the reason I asked the question is because I'm like, dude, it's amazing how many movies are based around school. Because I think, if you talk about thinking something that's relatable to everybody, pretty much everybody went to school. So, it makes it.
I would hope.
Yeah. It's like, it makes it pretty relevant and pretty relatable. So.
To your point, John, when I first saw the question, I was like, what I was like, that's, like, what do you mean center around school? But then I really started thinking about it. I'm like, oh, there's a lot.
Yeah. A lot of movies there. All right. We'll get to your chats before we roll out of here. But real quick before we do, though, we're going to have a post about this later this afternoon. But we got a really cool thing on Instagram. For those of you who are on Instagram, a lot of you follow us on Instagram and Inside Arkansas. We are going to be officially collaborating. I talk for a living with Hogs Media and their Instagram account. A lot of you are following that. It's got a huge following. They do a great job of graphics and announcements and collaborating with other players and things. So we're really excited about that and been working on that. So if you'll see the post. If you haven't followed us on Instagram and Inside Arkansas, go ahead and do that. But also give Hogs Media a follow, and it's going to be combined. And Hogs Media is going to be powered by Inside Arkansas, and they're going to basically have a lot of cool stuff for us. So if you haven't done that yet, be sure to do so because this is one of very many announcements we're going to have this week. Really cool announcements that we're really excited about. We just didn't want to, we don't want to, as Lee Corso would say, shoot our wad all at once. We got to wait and let it go out a little bit. So, so we're really excited about that. So yeah, give it a follow. Inside Arkansas on Instagram as well as Hogs Media. They're on Instagram, and again, we'll have a post about that later to give it all there. But wanted to give them a shout out.
That's very cool. I just want to say, to your point there, John, just one of many things that we're really excited about getting rolling here. Just the tip of the iceberg for us as we kind of expand our, social media coverage, as we expand our recruiting coverage. We've got a lot going on. We didn't get to where we did over the course of the past year by just being comfortable and content and stagnant and thinking, oh, it's the only thing in the world. No. We kind of dared to be a little bit different. And so we're going to continue to try to be innovative. We got a lot of stuff that we're really, really excited about. We don't need somebody to come buy us either for us to do that. We don't need to be acquired. We're hanging there on their own. So I like the idea of these partnerships and collaborations and stuff like that. We're pumped about what we got going on over here. And as the great Mike McDaniel would say, it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, and to your point, Curtis, and I know we all are on the same page on this. Like you say, we want to be different. We want to kind of do things that other people aren't doing. And if you look over the last year and a half or so, there's a lot of people in our industry who are trying to do things that we are doing. And so now there's another step to that where we have to find new things to do. And so, and ultimately it's really whatever you guys, like people listening, want. We want to have engaging content for everybody, regardless of whether that's podcast, social media, whatever. But we want to continue to evolve and be able to meet you guys in whatever mediums you want, to consume content, whatever is easiest for y'all. And so we kind of want to always be on the cutting edge of doing things that are new, different, and keeping everyone chasing our tail.
That's right. And last thing I'll say about it is just a lot of the things that we do. And obviously we want to be innovative and everything, but we also want to be convenient for our audience and making it to where we're doing all we can to make it easy on y'all to consume our content. Like, we don't want to have it to where you got to go through these hula hoops and, pay all these paywalls and have all this stuff. It's like, you're already on YouTube. You're already on Facebook. You're already on Twitter. We want to go where you guys are at. And then you're on Instagram. So it's like, let's go where you're at. So that's a big thing that we try to do too, is make it as easy and as convenient for all of you to find us. And if you can't find us, that's a you problem. It ain't on us. Just saying. But yeah, we're excited about it. A few chats here though before we roll out. It's the super chats. Guy J.M. Scott, appreciate it. He just says, "What is your favorite football movie?" Plain and simple.
It's Varsity Blues.
Yeah, Varsity Blues. Pretty great. I mean, remember
like Radio?
It's hard to be.
Radio's going.
Yeah. I love Radio.
I like Radio.
I think Remember the Titans is probably like the most popular, most famous football movie, and I think we all like it, but I don't know if it's my favorite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I do really like it a lot. I got to be honest with you, and this is going to be a crazy answer. It's not a good movie. It's actually an objectively bad movie, but one of my favorite football movies ever is Draft Day. I freaking love watching Draft Day. I watch it at least every other year, but I'm probably like, when April rolls around and the NFL draft comes up, I'm going to have to watch Draft Day again. I want my picks back, you pancake eating MFer. That is a classic line, dude. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, there's like, we talked about this. Yeah. I think maybe you're here recently, but like, I still like Rudy. I know people have their own feelings on it, but I like it. But I think we all agree Blindside's the most overrated movie of all time, though. Has to be.
Blindside, not good. We Are Marshall makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I see Finch with The Replacements. I like The Replacements.
That's a good one.
The Replacements
Anytime
is
it's
good.
on, I'll keep it on. Yeah. Any Given Sunday, good one.
Any Given Sunday. The margin for error, so small.
Here's a hot take for that. Any Given Sunday's fine, but that speech is what makes it elevated.
Oh,
100% agreed. 100% agreed. It is fine. You're right. You're right. Longest Yard, the Adam Sandler one, I think is very good.
Yeah, it's definitely better than some of the Adam Sandler movies here recently. Jeez.
Friday Night Lights, the series, was better than the movie. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
1,000%. Yeah, definitely agree there. But I also agree. I also think that there were parts of the series, which I love, that was a little bit ridiculous. And I think people just ignored like the fact that Tim Riggins was in high school for like 4 years and played. He was like his best friend was a senior in the very first season, but yet season 4, he's still playing. And it's like, okay.
I will say, John, 4 years is more or less the exact amount of time someone should be in high school.
No. But I'm saying, like, they had him as like a varsity starter senior and his best friend. It's like that. Yes, I'm aware that.
It's just funny that you were like, yeah, they had Tim Riggins in high school for 4 years.
Maybe it was playing varsity football for 4 years.
Yeah,
doing all that. But yeah, it was. And there's also some weird stuff that happened there too. But Also, shout out to Razorback St. John with the purple dog shirt, LFG. Well, at least you knew it's not Gonzaga. It's not Gonzaga. It's definitely that. Let's see. Finch, we're talking about being at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. He says, go by and see the guys, but remember, if they have their headphones on, they won't hear a word you're saying. Yeah, I'm looking at y'all from the Alumni Hall segment.
This is true.
It's true, but however, there may be a little bit of a change, or at least a flexibility here for this particular thing. We'll let you know about it. But if you come up
blasting it from the boat,
what's up?
Is it gonna be like just blasting for the entire lake to hear?
Might be. It might be. It better be. Honestly, that's what everybody wants to hear. I'm sure. Phil also says, looks like I'm coming same weekend as Quinn, booked at the Graduate.
Hell yeah, Phil.
Valentine's or football?
That's a good question.
All right.
Yeah,
I think football, right?
Okay. We haven't had Quinn on here to talk about the Valentine's Day. We've just been messing with him.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Nothing confirmed there just yet. So, all right. Well, fellas, any final thoughts before we roll out here for the day?
Nope. I think I'm all set.
I have no thoughts either. I didn't have thoughts to begin. I don't have thoughts to end. Just vibes.
Yep. I'm thoughted out as well, but that's okay because luckily we'll be back out tomorrow here on Inside Arkansas Live. So, yeah, how about that? I'm just going to end it there. You don't even get to respond, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you listening and watching into Inside Arkansas Live. Be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas. You can check out all of our audio podcasts wherever podcasts are found, on Spotify, on Apple, all that great stuff, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, or the Bombastic Podcast. You can also check us out on social media, as well as our new collaboration with Hogs Media on Instagram at Inside Arkansas, and we'll keep it going from there. That'll do it. For Andrew Ellis, Curtis Wilkerson, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll see you then.